Welcome to the Pacific Northwest, Kirkland, Washington, as Day 3 of the 2026 Junior League Softball World Series continues. Our third game of the day pits the host team, the Washington District 9 champions from right here in Kirkland, Washington, versus the Latin America region champions from Guayama, Puerto Rico. Crucial game for both of these teams as we look at pool play, as we continue with that portion of this tournament. This is a Pool A matchup that's happening on the left side of your screen. Puerto Rico already played a game earlier today, dropping an 8-0 decision to the Southeast Region champs from North Carolina, but they're still 2-1, while Washington is still looking for its first win so far here in Kirkland. Great to have you with us inside Field 2 at Everest Park in Kirkland, Washington. Troy Clarity, the coach, Kirk Walker, and you. Thank you for being here with us. Kirk, this is a pretty important and pivotal game for both of these teams. Puerto Rico looking to bounce back, split the day's events, go up to 3-1 as they wrap up pool play, while Washington trying to get in the win column.
Yeah, you know, obviously Puerto Rico would love to lock in a win here, get back on the winning track, and secure that number 2 spot, obviously. And then, you know, Washington, the host here, is absolutely needing some positive things, and I think they would love to come out of here and get a W.
They did have some positive things towards the end of their most recent result. That was an 18-4 loss to the Southeast Region champions from North Carolina. More on that in a moment. But first, we take you inside the circle and take a peek at Brianna Sanchez, who is getting the look at the beginning of this one. Sanchez threw a few innings as part of Puerto Rico's opening 27-15 win. Yes, that was the final score over Czechia back on Sunday. Sanchez in the circle to start. Their manager is Juan Vega. There he is with his back to us. Also an International Olympic Wrestling referee. There he is, front and center. All of coaches Gerardo Lede and Angel Martinez. Smiles on everybody's faces as part of the meeting between the managers and the umpires. As you look at Mike Stevens for a moment, the manager of the Washington District 9 squad that plays right here. This is Kirkland American Little League, and this is their home park, Everest Park. These are their friendly confine space.
Absolutely, and they would love nothing better than to come out here and score some runs here in that first inning. And they ended their last game with some good offensive production and some momentum, and hopefully they can carry that into today and represent this beautiful complex.
Yeah, they certainly did. A look at their batting order, 1 through 12. It is continuous batting order. If you're on the roster in Little League, you get a chance to pick up a bat. So 1 through 12. Mila Jones with a big 2-run output for Washington yesterday against North Carolina. They scored some runs late. They'll try to keep it going, at least at the start of this game. Defensively for Puerto Rico, the outfield and in the infield around the horn. We saw Sanchez in the circle, and Yure Tejidor will take her place behind the dish.
And Rosa there at shortstop is a phenomenal athlete. We saw her very engaged and very active in her earlier games, both offensively and obviously defensively.
Ali Schwarzkopf leading off for the host squad, facing off against Brianna Sanchez. The rocks and deals, away we go. Washington District 9 versus Puerto Rico. Enjoy the game. Temperature in the low 80s as we begin here today.
We're fortunate we're sitting up in the treehouse here and got a constant shade, which is nice.
It's nice.
A little bit of breeze, but just have to avoid a few acorns from the trees. But other than that,
occupational hazard there. Breeze has picked up a bit as the day has gone along. A lot of fans rooting on the host team. They didn't have too far to go. Pitch count goes to 2-1 on Schwarzkopf.
And quite an engaged crowd with Puerto Rico as well. Heard them singing before the game and had some great voices in their fan base.
Over Sanchez's head. Base hit.
Great way to start here for Schwarzkopf. Crowd's very engaged and excited to start this game off with a hit.
Yeah, it started low and then bounced high. Sanchez couldn't quite put the glove up in time. Natalia Atienza is the batter. Atienza speaks a little Russian. Look at that.
It's impressive.
Backhanded to Rosa. Flipped the second for one, and that's all they got.
Right at Rosa. Just a good job of staying down on that ball. Well hit. Knocks it down and has an easy force out there at second base.
Rosa has been steady at short from what we have seen from her whenever she's been over on this field. Ruby Stevens, the batter. Swing and a miss for strike one on Stevens.
Stevens coming out swinging, and it's great to see. Obviously, there's an excitement and an eagerness to put the ball in play, and get aggressive, start this game off.
Kirkland American Little League was here in this Junior League Softball World Series last year. They went 0-4 in pool play, looking to try to get a win here before pool play ends tomorrow. Carlos Guevara, the lone returning player from last year's squad. Sets up outside. And the count goes to 1-2.
See that catcher setting up way outside and trying to bring the ball back in. It's an opportunity early in the game for both pitchers, offense and defense, to learn the umpire's strike zone and what he will be calling and what he won't.
Count stays at 1-2.
Great pitch there on the outside. Good job with Stevens. With the runner on first base here, obviously she wants to be able to kind of move that runner, just score in position.
Skips off of Sanchez's glove. Everybody's safe.
Well hit ball right back up the middle. Sanchez does a good job of getting her glove on it, slows it down, but can't get an out of it. But well hit ball up the middle. You can see Sanchez does get a chance to get her glove up, knock it down. Obviously, the second baseman does a good job of coming in. Had she not got her glove on it, it might have been a routine fly ball right to the position second baseman.
Now Roque backing up her pitcher. Here's Hannah DeGruder at the plate.
Certainly is a big part of the game as a pitcher, is to be really aware of your defense, not only your corners coverage on the play in front of them, but also where your outfield and your middle infield is positioned behind you. So great learning opportunity for pitchers to understand that they are potentially another fifth infielder, but they also could be positioned to interfere with a potential play.
Yeah. Roque. It falls in between her and Delgado, the first baseman. Bases loaded.
Challenging ball here. A ball that looks like it might be a routine play, but just kind of finds that open space in between first and second base. Runners are kind of caught off guard, thinking it's going to be caught.
Yeah, that just kind of fell in between everyone there, some way, somehow.
It did. And then, unfortunately, it got kicked away for Puerto Rico, and they're sitting here with bases loaded and 2 outs.
Or Charlie Scavera. Bounces blocked by Yuri Tequidor behind the dish.
And we've seen Tequidor doing a great job behind the plate in all of their games that we've seen here on this field. Catcher's doing a great job of multitasking.
E3 was how that last play was scored. Pitch on the outside corner called 1-1.
It's a good opportunity right now to figure out that outside strike. Seems to be a zone that he's going to call. Scavera's got to protect that. Sanchez goes right back there,
2 on, runners at second and third. We have 2 out. There's a swing and a miss. Guevara down on strikes. Washington gets a couple in scoring position. Can't push either of them across. However, there might be a bit of confusion as to how many outs there actually are. And we think they called an infield fly on that previous play, and now everyone is on the same page. For a second there, I was thrown off a bit too. I think we're good now. Latin America pick up on the bats here in a moment. To Gruder at the plate, and here is what happens with DeGruder popping it up. Watch home plate umpire Alex Ordanza, who immediately calls infield fly. And so with that, as the infield for Puerto Rico can't quite come up with the ball, but infield fly means that DeGruder is out. An error was also called there, so that allowed Atienza to go to third and Stevens over to second.
Obviously, an infield fly is the batter is out, but the runners are able to advance with jeopardy of being thrown out if they choose to go.
So with that, we move to the bottom of the first inning, and it's Ruby Stevens in the circle for Washington District 9. We've seen Stevens in the circle. In fact, she's been their ace throughout this run towards the Junior League Softball World Series.
Certainly has thrown a bulk of their innings, and definitely will be looking to shut down this Puerto Rico offense.
That Puerto Rico offense looks like this from 1 through 13. Naelis Rosa, who's celebrating a birthday today. She turns 14. She celebrated early with a big home run yesterday, part of the 12-4 win over the Central Region champs from Michigan. Starts with Dana Arroyo. Arroyo with hits in back-to-back games coming into today. Hits were somewhat hard to come by for Puerto Rico this morning against North Carolina. It was an 8-0 loss. Addison Louder, fantastic pitcher for the Southeast Region champs, was locked in as usual, it seemed.
We've seen Louder be really effective, and she's continued to be a force to watch.
Outside corner called, 1-2.
Plate official definitely likes that outside part of the plate. Good thing for Stevens to note. She's got a little bit of room to play with on that outside half.
This is low here, 2-2. Guayama Little League, Guayama, Puerto Rico. Champions of the Latin American region, won all 5 of its games in that tournament. Fouled off 2-2. There's a team from Brazil in the Latin America region this year. This squad beat Brazil 7-0. I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen a team from Brazil in the Latin America region, at least on the Junior League softball. Can't remember. 2-2.
Certainly have seen a team from Brazil at the women's level,
yep,
up at Canada Cup or some of the international tournaments that we have been in. We've seen Brazil that has a very, very good hitting team, but not necessarily a lot of pitching. So youth softball in that country is not necessarily widespread, but obviously Little League making a difference down there, and that's wonderful.
Seventh pitch of the at-bat ends with Arroyo at first base after the single.
Arroyo puts a great swing on this, drives it over that shortstop's head, and solid contact after working the count.
So Arroyo on a 3-game hit streak now. Here a Tejidor at the plate. The throw to second, not in time.
Great head first slide going into second. She's an athlete with great speed, great base running ability, and we can see that slide into second. Really impressive, avoiding the tag.
Uniform even dirtier than it was before.
Something tells me she likes to be dirty when she's playing.
So ball's 1 strike.
Not even trying to dust it off. She's
Nope.
like, leave it right there.
Well, it's all good. I'm fine. One ball, 1 strike. Runner at second. Nobody else. Here Tejidor at the plate. Smacks that one to third. Gobbled up by Scavera. Nice play.
Great play by Scavera, snagging that ball. Looked like it was on its way to left field. It's a single in the 5-6 hole. She almost had a chance to pick off the runner at second base, but I think the second baseman might have been there in time. But you can see here, stays down on that ball, comes up with a great snag, and then a great throw. Really impressive.
Nice little scooper by Scavera. Fly ball to center. Atienza on the move. It drops down in front of her. Centennial extends the inning and ends up giving Puerto Rico a 1-0 lead, as Arroyo did not stop from second.
Absolutely great base running by Arroyo there. She could read that ball as soon as it was hit that the center fielder was not going to be able to make a play there. As she's taking her lead off and moving off the base, as soon as she saw it, she was able to break without stride and score easily. It's a well-hit ball, opposite field.
Brings up Brianna Sanchez. She had the count 1-0. Brianna's mom, Nicole, played for the 2001 Little League Softball World Championship team from Puerto Rico. How about that?
Keeping it all in the family. Carrying on the great tradition. I think that's awesome. We have so many of the athletes out here that their moms were athletes or competed, and whether it be in Little League and other sports. And I think it's just a great opportunity for this generation to have moms that were competing just as much as the dads might have been.
But bodes so well for the future of the sport. Centeno takes second easily.
So another runner here in scoring position, and Sanchez would love to help her own cause out. Pick up another run here.
Two and one. Off speed, misses high. 3-1.
Her goal for the tournament was to win at least the first 3 games.
Yeah.
She's got 2.
That. Yeah, 2 out of 3.
Could get their 3rd one today if she has anything to do with it.
Count now full on Sanchez. Runner at second, Centeno. It's ball 4.
Good discipline. I think it's those little things. I think we've seen some teams that have a really good batter's eye and a good ability to stay disciplined at the plate has really been really important. You don't always have to get a hit to make an impact on that offense, and those little things I think really help adding up, especially when you have a batting order of 12, 14 people.
Yadi Figueroa watches the first pitch bounce outside. This is a Puerto Rico squad that has put up runs. They dropped 12 on Michigan yesterday. Certainly began their stay here in Kirkland with a bang, beating the Europe Africa region champions from Czechia 27-15. Yes, that was the actual final score, folks. 27-15 in 5 innings.
I thought that was the football score from the little football league.
Normally you score 15 runs, you're winning. You're not getting run rule.
This is true.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Puerto Rico uses a great discipline, I think, and they also have great speed and base running. That's one thing that we've noticed. They take extra bases really well.
And fearless on the base paths, too.
Yeah.
Which sometimes can work either way, but...
Fearless doesn't always mean good decisions, but it certainly is a good quality to have if you have good decision making.
If you're going to lean one way or the other, right? Be more aggressive out there. So being reactive. Count full on Yadi Figueroa. Stevens in the circle. Stylish with the shades. Payoff pitch. That's foul once again.
So working the count here, I think she's done a good job. She's fouling off a few balls, trying to find a pitch that she can do something more with or potentially get walked. So I think an impressive opportunity to go deep in a count. Got 1 out and runners in scoring position. So her quality at bat here can definitely help her team out.
To right field for a base hit, and that is rolling to the wall. Centeno scores. Sanchez comes around and scores. It is a 2-run triple for Yadi Figueroa.
Yadi does a great job of turning on this ball. I think Stevens left the ball over the plate. This is one of the challenges with that full count is not wanting to walk a batter, but leaving the ball too much over the plate. She just fouled off 2 and left that one over the plate. Perfect for Yadi to turn on it and drive it in the gap. Easily scoring 2 runners and giving herself a triple.
Along with her 4th and 5th runs batted in of the week.
Her production is high right now, and that's great.
Añeles Martinez ruled to have gone around on that first pitch. Strike 1. Martinez had a big day. First game. Czechia 3 of 4, 4 driven in.
One of her favorite hobbies is studying, with aspirations to be a pharmacist. So she's going to need to spend a little time studying if you're going to go after a highly challenging profession like pharmacy.
Need to hit the books a little bit on that. I mean, it's not neurophysiology or anything. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at third, Yadi Figueroa. Bounces inside. DeGruder locates it.
Stevens trying to keep the ball in the inner half to avoid a ball that's taken deep into the outfield. She wants to hopefully get them to pull a ball to third base, would be the ideal scenario. Ground ball to third base.
That's a good pitch from Stevens. Swing
Or a
miss.
strikeout.
Yep.
Big out for the Washington team here to get 2 outs, and with a big hitter coming up.
Yeah, a lot to smile about with this pitch.
Really beautiful pitch, dropped off the table on that outer half and the off speed.
A funky floater. Añeles Rosa, hot shot to first base. That's through. That scores another. And Añeles Rosa celebrates her 14th birthday with an RBI single.
And she's stayed hot. Obviously, she's got it. Swings a great bat. Gets a pitch right down the middle, and we'll take that RBI any day.
Feliz cumpleaños, Niles.
See the ball's left over down the middle of the plate a little bit too much. First baseman makes an attempt, but hit too sharply.
Yanelis Roque, first pitch to her was low and outside. Swing and a miss on the off speed. 1-1.
And that off speed is located well. It's got some good movement on it, and definitely has the hitters kind of fooled. Comes back with it again.
Yeah, like that, huh?
I think we saw that the other day with Stevens, that her off-speed pitch was probably a pitch she should have been throwing more, and looks like they might have come to the same understanding after probably taking a little bit of some video.
On the move to second and in.
Good slide in there by Rosas.
Scott Maslarov, the crew chief, the umpire out there, making sure the base is good to go. Bag's ready. Stevens is ready. We hope you are too. 2-2. Off we go. Count full.
It's pretty important here for Stevens not to lose this hitter. Obviously, she's very likely to come back here maybe with another one of those changeups on the outside.
A rolling foul towards the third base coach's box. Count stays at 3-2. Puerto Rico has been making Ruby Stevens work.
She has thrown a lot of pitches here in this first inning.
Knocked down by Schwarzkopf.
Schwarzkopf does a great job. Probably saves a run there.
Yep.
Keeping that ball in the infield. Rosas runs well and aggressive. Takes third base. I guarantee she'd have been going home had she had that ball gone to the outfield.
Yeah, Schwarzkopf stretching to just knock the ball down and keep it within reach, saving the run. Ninth batter of the inning about to come up to the plate, Camelia Delgado, but first Mike Stevens comes out to have a word with his squad. Officially 37 pitches so far thrown by Ruby Stevens. Intriguing to note, by my count, there have been 3 full counts that Stevens has gone to. And each time, Sanchez walked, Figueroa, 2-run triple, and now here, the infield single by Roque. So Puerto Rico has been winning when they've gone to 3-2.
You know, one of those things that as a pitcher, I think ultimately, I think Lisa Fernandez is the one that really I learned this from, or I heard from all the time, was she always took her 2-2 count and thinks of it as a full count. So never wants to go to a full count, because that kind of shifts the momentum back to the hitter when you get to full count, versus a 2-2 count. Pitcher generally has a little bit more momentum.
Inside pitch, misses for ball 1. If Lisa Fernandez is talking about pitching, I am listening and taking as many notes as I possibly can.
She has some great great thoughts. I mean, I don't think anybody probably in the world probably has mentally more prepared and tenacious with her mindset. Her big thing that I think, another thing that I learned from her, was her ability to reframe things. So when something happens, she has the ability to reframe it and make it something that is either positive or something that she can gain from. So she used to practice with a wet ball just in case she was going to throw in a climate where it was going to be wet.
Huh.
And I don't know how many pitchers would make their workout harder just to prepare for something that might happen.
Two and two, strike call. Runners at the corners. Rosa at third. Okay at first. Off of Stevens' glove. Throw to first. Safe. Rosa safe at home. That's 5-0.
Stevens does a good job of getting her glove on it. Unfortunately, not getting enough of that ball to keep it in her glove.
Stevens with the instinctual reach. Gibson there to back it up, but Delgado too speedy.
Delgado hustling down that line. Again, I think one thing that I have definitely noticed, and I think bodes well for this level, is to run aggressively at all times, even if you think you're going to be out, even if you think the ball was not hit well.
6 base hits already by my count for Puerto Rico. And Santiago, love to add to that. Next pitch she faces will be the 1-1. Heavenly plays Little League because it inspires her.
I've been pretty inspired watching these athletes out here all week so far. It's really impressive and fun to learn about them, some of their superstitions and their favorites and things that they like to do. And it's an impressive group of young women.
And you're nowhere near done watching. We still got a few more days of this.
This is game I think 8 on the week so far. So
our third game today. It's been fun as always. The 2-2. Blocks it. Count goes to 3-2. This is Puerto Rico's final game in pool play. Final chance to perhaps make a statement before heading off to the elimination bracket.
You know, they'll have their day off tomorrow, which is pretty perfectly placed for them.
Loud clapper to Scavera, who's up with it, fires across the diamond for the 3rd out.
Scavera makes a couple of great plays this inning.
But Puerto Rico bringing its bats and breaking them out quite early, bringing 5 across, including 2 on this swing of the bat from Yadi Figueroa. The triple, the big blow, and Puerto Rico's up 5-0 after 1. Look at our umpires. Alex Ordonza is calling balls and strikes for this game, joined by Christopher Witt at first. Scott Mazeroff at second. He's the crew chief. And David Burt at third. Thanks to them for spending their time volunteering to be a part of this event, coming from points all around the globe to be here in Kirkland. Top second, 5-0 Puerto Rico. Mila Jones, the first batter of this frame. Just in front of that one. She's down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Jones 1 for 2, drove in a couple against North Carolina yesterday.
Well, Stevens would love her team to be up for a while after throwing 48 pitches last inning. A little bit of rest would be great. See if her team can get some base runners and just a little outside.
Yeah, Tejedor was set up way outside, then kind of hopped in a little bit towards closer towards the corner of the plate.
It's a little unique strategy of moving back in when a ball is coming.
Placement.
Our plate umpire has been calling that outside pitch. I think Puerto Rico here and Sanchez trying to take advantage of that. If you find an umpire that's going to give you something, your best bet is to continue to go to that.
Yep.
And use it as best you can.
100%. Count on 2-2. Mila Jones says that if she won the lottery, she would install lights in Everest Park. Not sure. I think the neighbors might have a few things to say about that.
It is a beautiful park, but no lights.
No lights. 2-2. Time for ball 3. That did actually come into play for one of the games last year. I think it went until like about past 8 o'clock or so. And they actually called it and continued it the next day.
One of the great things here about the Northwest this summer. Ooh, sharply hit up the middle.
As it's knocked down by Sanchez, rolls to Roque, but Jones is safe.
Jones does a great job of driving this ball back up the middle. Sanchez, a great athlete. Again, we've seen a lot of balls hit back up the middle in the first 2 innings. Gets her glove on it. Slows it down almost too much. And no play. Jones obviously wanted to be a professional hitter and have lights here at the field because I think she probably wants to be out here practicing more. Hitting balls like that.
Charlotte Green at the plate. Thought about taking second, but chased back. Tejedor was able to recover.
She's lucky that throw went to second and not behind her at first base. Would have got her into a rundown. She's able to react and get back. Tejedor kept that ball in front of her, which was definitely saved the runner moving.
Charlotte Green's favorite athlete is Jordan Woolery. He's now the Utah Talents of the AUSL. Favorite sports team, UCLA softball.
I love that. Charlotte's got some good taste, I would say. Jordan Woolery is also an amazing role model, amazing young woman, and had the pleasure of coaching her for a number of years.
That, of course, the voice of Kirk Walker, former longtime assistant at UCLA, head coach at Oregon State as well.
24 years I spent in that program and loved every minute of it.
Now, we're in Husky territory. You didn't have to get off the plane wearing Groucho Marx glasses, did you?
No, but I did play in the celebrity softball game, the Cats versus the Dogs, and they put me on the Washington State side, and I didn't really know why, but it made sense because, you know, they don't have a softball team, and I've always been against the Huskies, so that kind of seemed to fit.
3-1.
Shout out to Marcus Trufant and his leadership, taking the celebrity softball game for the Cats.
Yeah, Trufant, the former Coug football great. As Green walks, first and second now with Vivian Zavala at the plate. tenacious bat. According to Mike Stevens. Strike one call.
Interesting scenario here. Obviously, the defense is preparing to cover for the bunt. Both corners are charging hard, and both middles are vacating to the bases, leaving nobody at second base.
Tie 1-1. First and second, no outs.
Jones can read that at second base. She can be really aggressive on her leadoff here.
There's Jones.
Coach Stevens yelling out to have fun, and nothing more fun than getting a hit with a runner in score position.
Chases that one, 2-2.
Good swing. Just a little bit ahead of that pitch. Obviously, with Sanchez throwing so much on the outside, again, would behoove her to allow the ball to get deeper in the zone and go opposite field now with 2 strikes and advance those runners.
Fouled off to the right, heading towards the Puerto Rico rooting section.
Cavallo does a good job there of letting that ball go a little bit deeper. I think if I were her too, I might get on top of the plate a little bit more to help cover on that outside card of the plate that the umpire's been giving Sanchez.
2-2. Skips back to Tejidor behind the plate. 3-2.
Big stop by Texura there. The ability to keep runners at second and third, or second and first, rather than third and second.
3-2 pitch. That's ball 4.
Washington's showing a little life here. Fans are quite excited on this home field side.
Both teams trying to get something brewing here. Infield single and a couple of walks. They've loaded the bases for Serena Gibson. Gibson, the 9 batter in Washington's order. They go 1 through 12. Washington with a chance to get back into this game as Sanchez fires a first pitch strike.
Great pitch by Sanchez, really hammering home that outside strike that she's been getting all day. Smart on her part to put the pressure on the offense.
To right field and making the diving grab. The throw home.
Oh.
Can't hang on to the ball. The runner scores. Well, a fantastic grab in right, but Washington still ends up on the board.
A lot going on that play. Obviously, it started out with a well-hit ball opposite field with bases loaded and a diving catch in right field. Excellent job. Runners had been moving forward. She tries to go to 1. Runner is safe. Runner on second actually is called out for not being back in base in time, and then almost a third out on the same play.
There might be some questions as to whether Jones actually even touched home plate.
It's an interesting call there, obviously.
So we do have the diving grab. We have at least 1 out.
There's 2 outs because the runner on second was.
Yep, you got the out there at second. Loses the ball. Umpire makes the safe call, but she never touched the bag. She hadn't touched the plate yet. Did not touch the plate before the tag, at least so it appears.
Certainly appears as though she was never made contact with home plate. She was technically not obstructed because the catcher had the ball. So contact would be legal. And then as contact happened, she lost the ball.
Boy, so this has the potential to be a bases loaded triple play, perhaps.
It really does. Some spectacular plays happening, a little bit of base running miscues. It would be really disappointing, obviously, for Washington, who was sitting with bases loaded, nobody out.
Yep.
Great opportunity to try and score, and they may not get another chance this inning.
Respective managers both keeping cool and calm and collected while they await the deliberations. There's a lot to sort through here.
I believe the officials have the ability to go to review without being requested. So interesting to see if they'll take advantage of that.
No, we at least have 2 outs as a result of that play. Is there a third? Scott Mazarov goes over to Juan Vega.
The umpires are, coaches, managers can request the umpires to do a review without a challenge, but ask them to review. So that's kind of interesting. And it looks like they're not going to go to review unless there's a challenge posted here from Puerto Rico coaches, which might be a good idea if they saw what we saw.
Obviously, let's remember here that the call on the field was safe at home.
Well, the call on it's interesting because the plate umpire makes the safe signal, meaning the ball was loose. It does not mean that the runner is safe at home and counts. It just means that the tag was not accurately put on. There was no signal with the secondary tag.
Ball knocked loose. I don't think there was a tag applied there until now.
And at this point, the umpire does not signal again either way. They're attempting to try and make an appeal, but all they need to do is ask for a review. There's no force play for them to tag to home. Looks like the officials are not wanting to engage in this conversation. There's a little confusion here.
Yeah.
Players.
And are they calling for the challenge now?
Looks
I
like
believe
the
so.
review will now
Yes.
go to a review challenge, and I think we might see this overturned.
So yes, finally we will have the challenge. Managers can challenge as many times as they wish, as long as they keep getting them right. If they have 2 unsuccessful ones at any point during regulation, then they lose the ability to challenge for the remainder of the way.
The way the rules is stated, the managers can ask for a video review without challenging the call. If they don't like the call, they can then ask for a challenge, a video challenge.
But lost in all of this, we need to salute Rich Nellick Centeno for starting all of this off with a fantastic grab, going to her knees and making a diving grab in right field.
Really an incredible catch, which started this whole thing off.
It set forth a fairly surreal sequence. Is Mila Jones safe at home? That was the call. Let's run it back and show you the entire sequence as it happened.
Well hit ball to right with a great diving catch. There's 1 out. Runner on first was called safe. They throw to second. Runner was called out. There. And then a throw home, which would have been the 3rd out had she maintained contact. held on to the ball. It appears that the runner never touched home plate.
Yeah, Jones never touched home plate,
which would then result in that secondary tag being an out.
Right. There was the secondary tag applied by Tequila,
which would be an absolute incredible triple play in one of the most untraditional ways. A diving catch, a force out, and a tag play.
Meanwhile, the dance party is in full effect. Still sorting through it. Scott Mazlarov on the headsets, the crew chief.
Puerto Rico's dancing regardless of whether they get the call or not. They're having fun.
And there it is, out at home. How about that? A triple play. Unreal. And it remains a 5-0 game. Who knows what you're going to see at the park? Well, if you're just now joining us, you just missed a doozy of a sequence. Fly ball to right field off the bat of Serena Gibson. Fantastic diving grab in right by Brijnelek Centeno. And then the wackiness really begins. Out at second, the throw home, initially called safe. But look at that second tag because Jones did not originally touch the plate. Second tag stands, and that is a 9-3-6-2 triple play.
Really unbelievable. I'm going to say in my 42 years of, actually my 50 years of being around this sport, I don't think I have ever seen a triple play quite to that recipe.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the hotel and sit in the room and think about that sequence for a while. And just such a big sequence in so many different ways. Most notably because it was bases loaded with nobody out, Washington trying to get back in the game, and instead, this happens.
Most importantly, I think, yeah, for Washington, it was a dagger to the heart as they were trying to regain some momentum and some opportunity offensively. See a pitching change happening here.
Yeah, it's Charlie Scavera in the circle now.
Scavera, who had been at third base and making some great plays, has now moved to the mound.
Scavera, no stranger to the circle for this team as she tries Joaris Vega inside, but doesn't get the call. Charlotte Green has moved over from first to third, it appears. 3 balls and no strikes now to Vega. And Aurelia Perano is now at first base. The 3-0.
Good pitch. Scavera does a great job of attacking the strike zone right now. After falling behind.
3-1 pitch on the way from Scavera. And it's right back to her. One gone.
And we know she can field that position because she's been fielding over at third and making some great plays. So great first out, coming back from a down 3-0.
Had a nifty scooping snare in the first inning. Fielding her position from the circle here. Tyrisha Shettini takes the first pitch inside for ball one. Shettini, a big fan of San Diego Padres and Fernando Tatis Jr. She's driven in 4 runs so far in this tournament.
She's been being a little Tatis-esque with her hitting.
I remember Fernando Tatis Sr. 2 grand slams in the same inning, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
You have me on that one. I couldn't tell you. But knowing how you research things, I would not question anything that you're saying.
2 balls, 1 strike. Now 3-1 once again to Shettini. Young ladies from Guayama, Puerto Rico, population just over 36,000. Southern coast, Puerto Rico. Obviously a baseball hotbed. In the air, right side of the infield. Settling under it. Serena Gibson makes the grab.
Gibson does a good job of communicating that. She's has the right of way and the priority, obviously being behind the first baseman there.
Actually, Ruby Stevens moved from the circle over the second. So a few defensive changes. And Washington appears to have snuck in on us a little bit. Bottom of the order. Paola Rodriguez. Paola says playing Little League gives her more exposure to be on the big stage. Breeze kicking up again, moving from left to right across the field. The 1-0 low and inside, 2-0.
She's a volleyball table tennis player with aspirations of being an architect.
That's high, 3-0. Bottom second, 2 out. Bottom of the order. And Rodriguez walks on 4 pitches and turns the lineup over.
Good discipline again from the Puerto Rico team. Making the opposing pitcher throw a lot of strikes and a lot of pitches.
Back to the top of the order we go. Dana Arroyo singled and scored in the first. Bruder chases Rodriguez back to first. Donna says if she won the lottery, she'd improve Puerto Rico's parks. That's in there, called strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Got it.
Great pitch. Really good inning there for Washington.
Rodriguez walks, but nothing comes of it. 2 innings in the book. Puerto Rico ahead 5-0. Bottom of the order, top of the third. Latin America region champions from Puerto Rico leading the host team, Washington District 9, 5-0. Hazy skies here in the Pacific Northwest. Wildfire smoke from the eastern part of the state. Putting a bit of a haze on things here in the Seattle metro area. Temperatures in the low 80s at last check. We begin the third inning. Ariel Perano is the batter. 10, 11, 12 batters due up for Washington here.
Washington would love to put that offensive production back in again and see if they can get something going here.
As Rosa charges. Terrific play.
Spectacular play. Rosa with a great arm. Snags that ball. Looked like it was going to be an infield single all the way. And then that cannon from...
Bit of an assist as well on the back foot of Delgado. Just hanging on to the bag. Frankie Miser looks at the first pitch for ball one. Frankie is a black belt in Taekwondo. Her great uncle was a pro kickboxer in Thailand. How about that? Pitcher's fielding position. 2 outs.
Good snag there by Sanchez. Again, another great athlete on the mound and top defender. It always pays when you have a good defender in the circle. That's a 5th infielder.
Now batting left fielder number 2, Meredith Allen.
Now here's Meredith Allen. Meredith plays clarinet and bass clarinet. First pitch is up high. We're in Kirkland, Washington. This is a squad that is from this team, or from the city, I should say, Kirkland American Little League. Kirkland itself about 10 miles east of downtown Seattle. And yes, it is the home of the original Costco, which is where you see the Kirkland signature brand.
My homeland.
Kirkland. Did they name this place after you?
I don't think so, but I love seeing it
Next
written
time
all over products at Costco.
Next time you tell that story, the answer is yes. They did name it. This area has hosted the Junior League Softball Series since 1999. The best showing for a host team here. 2nd place. No host team has won this tournament. Tie 3-1. 2nd place, Kirkland National did that twice in 2013 and 2017. Is that hometown brand, shall we say, potentially, over at the grill?
Could be, could be.
Could be. The 3-1. Swats at that one, fouled on.
Gets away from Coach Stevens over there.
The water bottles representing the local brand.
Look at there.
A few other local brands around here include Amazon, Boeing. Respective headquarters of those companies not too far away. There's a 2-out walk, and that turns over the line.
The Pacific Northwest is a great location in the summer for Little League softball. You see Alpenrose Dairy with longtime host of the event down in Oregon. I actually, when my daughter was born, this would have been about 20 years ago, I ventured over a couple miles over to Alpenrose Dairy and sat with Holly Rowe at the Little League World Series.
Yeah, Little League Softball World Series held down in Portland, Oregon for many, many years at the Alpenrose Dairy Farm. You couldn't go 5 steps without seeing one of the players running around the place carrying a bucket of ice cream. Of course, they moved to Greenville, North Carolina a few years ago, and it's become just a boffo event, taking it to entirely different levels since then.
Absolutely.
Miley Schwartzkopf, 1 ball and 1 strike to her. Schwartzkopf singled in the first. Running grab made at second by Dianelis Roque. That retires the side. One on for Washington, but nothing comes of it. Still 5-0. Stick around, bottom third in a moment. Head to the bottom of the third inning with a 5-0 score. Latin America champs from Puerto Rico in the lead. Follow the amazing kids as they experience their own Little League World Series adventure. Download the Little League World Series app and watch highlights, photos, schedules, and more. It's available in the app stores for Apple and Android devices.
Little League is an amazing organization, and it's been really incredible to watch how on the softball side in the last 20 years it's really become its own signature event.
Terrific job back at World Headquarters in Williamsport, which will be quite busy a couple weeks from now or so. First pitch to Ire Tejedor. Stairs and outside, skips off of the Gruder's glove. Ball one, Tejedor grounded to third back in the first inning. Kirkland. Mentioned some of the big-time local brands around here. I forgot to mention one. We're right next door to Redmond, Washington, which is home to Microsoft. 2 balls, no strikes.
They've been decently successful.
They've been okay. Microsoft right next door. Redmond. Their campus is right across the street from where I'm staying. 3 balls, no strikes. Breeze picking up once again. Tejedor walks on 4 pitches.
Great discipline again. Tejedor has been doing a great job behind the plate and came up with that big play in the end of that triple play. She's happy to be on base and contributing offensively.
Triple play began with a diving catch by this young lady. Going inside to Centeno. Ball one.
It really was on its own right an impressive catch, regardless of the fact that it led to 2 more outs.
Side 2. Centeno is at game 2 of the 2024 World Series. How about that? Dodgers beat the Yankees 4-2. That one. I understand the Dodgers made some moves at the trade deadline. They're trying to get back to the World Series once again.
Not complaining about that in the least. Obviously, born and raised in Dodger territory and used to sit in left field bleachers watching Dusty Baker and Reggie Smith and Ron Say, Steve Garvey.
Runner heading to second and in. They're safe with stolen base.
Fortunate enough to get a chance to work with the Dodgers here for the last few years, and helping them hire some of the ball kids that sit down the line.
Oh, that's fantastic. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the count full.
Scarva's done a decent job. Last inning was a good last inning for her. She needs to settle in here and hopefully get a ground ball or a strikeout here to.
Gets the ground ball, but it's hit right to Stevens.
Wow.
Gets the out there. Tejidor moves over to third.
It's reminiscent of Scarva over at third base, a scooping, swiping play. It's a big out. The runner does advance, but that ball could have gone through, would have easily scored the runner.
Yeah, only advanced to 60 feet. Toward Stevens again. This one steers past her. Tejidor scores. 6-0.
Good job here of driving the ball back up the middle with a runner on third base. Obviously, you're just looking to find a gap.
Big swing and a miss by Yadi Figueroa. He had a big swing in the first inning. It brought in 2, and Figueroa ended up at third with the triple.
It's a great pitch by Scarva. I think looking at that high and in pitch with a little bit of rise. It's a great pitch. It can be really effective against the lefties.
Let's flash you back to the first inning, right? Nope, actually we're going to go back to Brianna Sanchez driving in the run.
It's a great opportunity right there again. Taking that ball up the middle. There's going to be no play at home, so even if that second baseman was able to make that play, that run's going to score all day long.
Count 1-2 on Figueroa. Well out of play. Things at 1-2. Charles Guevara in the circle for the host team. Tries to paint the outside corner. Goes a bit too far. 2-2.
It's a good spot there for Scarva. I think hasn't seen a lot of those pitches on the outside to the lefty.
Fouled off again.
That high and tight pitch on the lefties is a good pitch for Scarva, and I think using that is pretty effective as long as it's moving. I think she's likely to get a lot of foul balls or swing and misses.
Three and 2. They're in danger of walking a second batter in this inning, and a third in her outing in the circle so far. Yet that will continue.
Again, I'm going to say if you have as a pitcher that opportunity being a 2-2 count, it's really, really pretty important that you go at the hitter in that count, because getting yourself to a 3-2 with a not quality pitch really switches the momentum back to the hitter.
Meanwhile, Puerto Rico has been terrific on full counts. 9th pitch of this at bat. All 4. Two on, 1 out for Nanielis Martinez.
Stepping up to the plate, third base number 10, Nanielis Martinez Rodriguez.
Martinez struck out in the first. Mighty swing. Misses there. No balls and 1 strike. Yo, 1.
Her favorite movie, Top Gun, and enjoys sushi. See, down there in Puerto Rico, a lot of fresh fish.
Yeah. Goes to 2 balls and 1 strike on Martinez. Martinez had a 4 RBI day on Sunday. Puerto Rico scored 45 runs in 3+ games.
They certainly have scored in bunches, and we even saw that even today, first inning, scoring a bunch. Been a little bit quiet here, but threatening now with 2 runners on and 1 out.
Off the fist, dribbles through the short. Schwarzkopf tries to make the long throw, but it's Martinez who dives in safely. Bases loaded.
Great hustle there by Martinez. Again, an infield single. It's a long throw for Schwarzkopf to make from deep in the hole after it's deflected, and she makes a nice throw, but obviously Martinez in sliding into first base. I don't know if that's highly recommended to be sliding into first base in that situation, but hustling down the line certainly is a great factor.
Hustle is always welcome.
Absolutely.
Ellis Rosa, bases loaded, 1 out.
Big hitter here. Seen her turn on a ball, hit it out of here.
Birthday girl at the plate. Rosa already with an RBI single today.
Scarva brings that high and tight pitch. She might be okay, but she cannot leave this ball over the plate. That is for sure. There's that inside pitch.
Rosa's driven in 7 runs so far this week.
I think if Scarva can continue to work that inner half and in a tight zone, I think she can keep from getting hurt.
Fouled off, 1 and 2. Bases loaded. Sanchez at third, Figueroa at second, Martinez at first.
Anything out over that outer half of the plate or middle of the plate is very likely to get hit hard somewhere.
Clubbed back up the middle and through for a base hit. Another RBI single for the birthday girl, Nailes Rosa.
Scarva leaves that ball over the plate a little bit. Obviously, Rosa, with her swing, it's been really impressive to watch her swing a bat. I think she has great swing ability, great contact ability. Reminds me a little bit of Megan Grant, where even if she's not hitting it out of the ballpark, she's going to hit it hard somewhere.
Yep. Sanchez scores, and everyone stays put after that pitch. Ellis Roque at the plate. Infield single in the first. One up. Snared by DeGruder. Reach up for it.
DeGruder's been working hard behind the plate. Ball's in the dirt, and I think again you always appreciate the physicality of a catcher, but also the mental aspect of being engaged in every pitch. Being the quarterback for the defense and also the caretaker for the pitcher.
There's a lot on the catcher's plate.
There is a lot happening on a catcher's plate. I always appreciate those catchers, and they are a different breed.
It's amazing that many of them end up becoming coaches. A lot of baseball managers began as coaches.
that's all part of it, is that you think about the game a little differently, and you're engaged in the game a little differently every pitch.
You see it differently.
You see it
everything.
Absolutely. There certainly have been, as you said, some tremendous, not only baseball managers that were catchers, but in the softball world. You know, Missy Lombardi is down the road at University of Oregon was a catcher. Kelly Inouye Perez at UCLA was a catcher.
Hit to short, throws to third, gets the out there. Run comes across, it's 8-0 as Figueroa.
It's a good play. Obviously, she's playing deep, so play coming home would have been ill-advised, but does a good job of getting the lead runner going to third.
Amelia Delgado, big swing and a miss.
I think sometimes it's really important to understand is that your defensive alignment, where you set up, kind of sometimes dictates what you can and can't do defensively. And you want to always get outs and not make plays that you are outside of your scope of ability that just extend innings.
Yeah, you can't go Sports Center top 10 every single time.
I mean, if you're going to make a play at home, you're going to have to be starting defensively in a different position. So and that's oftentimes centered from the coaches. Oh, great attempt. That
goes through the infield. Rosa comes home, slides in, and is safe.
Rosa with a little bit, I would say, of an ugly slide, but an aggressive slide. She's happy to be safe.
Hey, any slide in which you score is a beautiful one, right?
That's it's beautiful in that it works. Great attempt by Schwarzkopf there. Obviously, this hit would have scored 2 runs had she not got that lead runner at third base. But Rosie does a great job hustling home and extending into the plate. It's an impressive young woman.
Heavenly Santiago rounded out third to end the first inning. In there, called strike one from home plate umpire Alex Ordanza. Second and third, 2 out. Pitch floats, but just misses inside, 1-1.
Santiago, obviously someone that has a desire to be a marine biologist.
Off of Stevens' wrist. Scores 1. Scores 2. And Santiago ends up at second. The beat goes on for Puerto Rico. It's 11-0.
Puerto Rico taking advantage of the Washington mistakes. I think there's one thing that Washington can do would be sure of taking care of the ball. Obviously, sometimes there's bad hops, but you also want to make sure you're making good throws and not giving up extra bases.
Sounds like Stevens maybe just kind of got a touch out of position, maybe overran the ball by about a half step. 2 more in for Puerto Rico. Morris Vega at the plate. They grounded back to Scavera in the circle. That was the first batter that Scavera faced. The lead off the second. Heading to third.
Like the aggressive base running, and obviously these athletes love to get dirty and slide.
Just like you used to back in the day, right?
I did love sliding. I did love base running. It was a fun part of the game. Not so much now, but it used to be fast.
You weren't going in head first during the celebrity game the other day?
No, not going to happen. Washington with 2 outs here, really hoping to get out of this inning without giving up any more runs.
Instead, Vega walks.
Batters number 4, Tyricha Shettini Gonzalez.
Shettini, the 11th batter, coming to the plate in this frame.
Looks like there's going to be possibly a pitching change.
Perhaps, at the very least, a hydration break. Taking a moment, a little hydration. Humidity generally is not a thing here in the Pacific Northwest, so it is quite dry. It's been windy at times, temperatures in the low 80s, so a bit on the warmer side around these parts, even for this time of year. Wildfire smoke in the air, maybe not helping things out. Always got to stay hydrated.
Well, it's interesting, the Northwest, we did get a little bit of rain on day 1, which in the morning, nothing that stopped us from playing, delayed us a little bit, but actually the Northwest right now is actually needing of rain.
Yes.
With the fires, but also they're well behind in their normal rain amount, even during the summer.
Shettini at the plate. Strong swing, but fouls it off. Nothing in 1. Shettini popped out to second in her first at-bat in the 2nd inning.
She's a fan of the San Diego Padres.
Meanwhile, Vega heads over to second.
2 runners now in scoring position.
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
Aggressive cut there. Puerto Rico's been really throttling down and putting the hammer down. Valverde needs to be focused on quality pitches. Ahead in the count here.
Ahead of that pitch slightly, be able to foul it off. 1 and 2.
Definitely seen her throw some really good quality pitches, but we've seen a lot of pitches that maybe not what she would want.
Side. 2 and 2. Santiago at third. Vega at second. Vera in the circle. Shettini at the plate.
It's great seeing their middle infield giving her a lot of support and trying to pump her up.
To the backstop.
Well, that's frustrating, obviously. She gets the strikeout, but with the pass ball, not able to record the out.
So there's the strikeout, but the passed ball loads him up.
For Guayama, Little League number 3, Paola Rodriguez Alvarado.
Paola Rodriguez, bottom of the order. Another look at that last pitch, and no, she did not make contact.
Swing and a miss, obviously, and catcher can't handle that. Traditional drop third strike.
Rodriguez walked in the 2nd. Off speed, high, 2 and 0. Nowhere to put Rodriguez here with the bases loaded.
It's tough here falling behind now. I think Scarvera's got to be careful here and hopefully get a pitch that she can get a strike on, or maybe get a ground ball on here and get out of this inning.
Two and 1. Rodriguez has also been a big contributor to this team in the circle. Stellar during the Latin American tournament. Plus matching against Puerto. That's down the line and just lands foul.
Just foul. Which is good thing for Washington, because that would have scored multiple runs, possibly even clearing the bases here with 2 outs. Scarva's got herself back to a 2-2 count. An important pitch here, I think, again. Absolutely important that she throws a good pitch, that she can stay in the driver's seat here and not go to 3-2.
Got it. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 6 more runs, however, come across for Puerto Rico. It's an 11-0 ball game. Top of the 4th in just a moment. (11-0) our score, top of the 4th inning from Kirkland, Washington. Follow the amazing kids as they experience their own Little League World Series adventure. Download the Little League World Series app and watch highlights, photos, schedules, and more. Available in the app stores and Android devices. I'm sure that's what he's doing right now.
Sanchez taking the circle again here for Puerto Rico. Looking to close this out.
Sanchez working with a big lead here after a 6-spot put up by Puerto Rico. Now Washington going back to work. Natalia Atienza hit into a fielder's choice back in the 1st inning. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Well hit ball, but right at the left fielder. Arroyo, is that Arroyo out there?
That's Arroyo.
Yeah, Arroyo out there, positioned perfectly.
Actually, no, it's Vega out there on left.
Oh. Sometimes we don't get the reported changes.
So it's a whole new outfield for Puerto Rico. Those details after this first pitch to Ruby Stevens. Taps, fair, fires in time. Martinez, 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Really nice job there on that slow roller. Can sometimes feel like you need to rush. She does a great job of staying composed, staying down on the ball, and then coming up with just a great cannon of a throw. A lot of movement on, a lot of spin on that ball. And Delgado, obviously first base, doing a great job. It's a great stride.
Brings up Hannah DeGruder. Goes to strike 1. As promised, the outfield, the new outfield for Puerto Rico. We saw Yoaris Vega make the catch to start this frame. Chatini is now in center. Paula Rodriguez is out and right. There she is. One ball, 1 strike now to DeGruder. There's Chatini. Chatini's going to get some work here. She makes the catch.
Really
very
efficient.
quickly. Yeah,
Really efficient inning.
very quickly. Side retired, 3 up and 3 down in the top half of the 4th. Puerto Rico will try to add on to its 11-0 lead in just a moment. Those young ladies have staked Puerto Rico out to an 11-0 lead heading into the bottom of the 4th inning. They've played it 5 in the first, 6 in the 3rd, and could potentially, if it plays 4 here in this frame, could decide this game right here and now. Look at the run rule situation on the Junior League softball level. That's on the left side of your screen.
Got a new pitcher in the circle with Charlotte Green. She's going to see if she can hold back this Puerto Rico offense from putting 4 more on the board. As it is, obviously, they already have a 10-run lead, so Washington would have to score at least 2 in the next half inning, even if they hold them here.
Yep. Charlotte Green, the 3rd different pitcher used for Washington in this game. Started with Rudy Stevens. Went 1 inning. Charlie Scavera, 2 full. Now it's up to Charlotte Green. Try to hold Puerto Rico at bay.
Well, we saw this Washington team have a moral victory yesterday in their game and extended it all the way to the 7th inning by breaking up the run rule opportunity.
Yep. Puerto
Puerto Rico is going to try and have a different say in that, I think, this game today.
We're going to start at the top of the order. Donna Arroyo, single and scored in the 1st, struck out in the 2nd. And no play at 1st. Frankie Miser is now at 3rd. Just didn't have a chance to make a play on it.
Unfortunately, Green gets a good swing, good slow ground ball. Unfortunately, mishandled by Miser.
To Miser again, but past her this time. First 2 reach. Puerto Rico greeting Green rather rudely in the circle to begin. Now it's Centeno. Certain add-on to things here. Did an RBI single in the 1st. That was to Miser again, looking around, knows that she has to tag the bag, and gets the force there.
Miser doing a good job of taking care of this ground ball and came up looking that she was going to try and turn 2. But with runners on 1st and 2nd, realized I can just trot over to 3rd. I think the runner on second wasn't quite aware that there was a runner behind her on first base. Just fortunate for Miser, give her time to get to third base, get that out. It's another ground ball.
This one doesn't get to Miser, but by the time green pops up, everybody's safe.
We've seen 4 balls hit in a 30-foot section of the field.
If that. So Sanchez is safe. The bases are loaded. Potential walk-off run is now at the plate, represented by Yadi Figueroa. 2-run triple in the first. Walked and scored in the third.
Yadi did a good job of working that count in that triple at bat. Fouled off several pitches, was in a full count, and worked to get a ball that was over the plate. I think the thing you're going to see here is that Figueroa is definitely a disciplined hitter. Is not going to chase something that she can't hit. She's willing to pass the bat if she has to.
She might be able to get on base without even having the bat leave her shoulder. She's ahead in the count 3-0.
Squaring around showing bunt, obviously just to be a little bit of a distraction.
And that walks in a run. Nothing.
Martinez coming to the plate, and a dangerous hitter on deck too in Rosa, birthday girl.
Yeah.
Washington has to be careful here and trying to find that second out.
Meanwhile, Puerto Rico trying to wind up for a potential knockout punch here. Martinez, who did an infield single in the third.
Green right now struggling a little bit to find her groove. 5 straight balls.
But lopsided scores have somewhat been the order of the day here in Kirkland for day 3. Began with West Region champs beating Canada 13-1. 8-0 was the final for the Southeast Region champs over his Puerto Rico squad earlier this morning. Pennsylvania beat Texas 12-1 in run rule fashion. And Michigan, the Central Region champions, beat Czechia, the Europe-Africa region, 13-1. So we've seen high drama throughout the course of this tournament, but not necessarily today.
Definitely has felt a little bit one-sided today.
As the lead here gets bigger for Puerto Rico. Another run comes across.
We might have a decent score happening on field 1 currently, but here on field 2, it's been a one-sided event each game.
And Rosa puts that one in play to short. Schwarzkopf makes the catch. So 2 outs. Brings up Dianelis Roque. Over a run in the third. And also had an infield single in the first. Bases are still loaded with 2 out.
An important run, obviously, at second base. That runner on second is the game ender. Looks like we won't see that happening.
Nope, the backhand by Miser, who has been busy in this frame, steps on the bag, and the side is retired. A couple more for Puerto Rico. Washington has a chance to extend in the top half of the 5th. That's coming up in a moment. Puerto Rico perhaps 3 outs away from getting another win in this tournament, closing out pool play at 3-1. Key play in this game came in the second inning. Washington had bases loaded and nobody out, with Serena Gibson at the plate until this happens. What a grab by Centeno in right field, and then Kirk, all the craziness happens.
Yeah, she tries to throw to one, no play, throws to second, gets the runner, second out, and then this happens at home plate. Obviously called safe, but under review, the runner never hits home plate. So that secondary tag was the triple, end of third out of the triple play. Quite an inning.
9-3-6-2 triple play. Key sequence in this entire game, because at that point Puerto Rico was ahead 5-0. The host squad had the bases loaded and nobody out, and a chance to get back into it. Game hasn't been the same since.
It definitely changed the complexity of the game, and really was a dagger to Washington.
Charlie Scavera. Couple of hops. That's
Beautiful
a strong play. Yes, indeed.
Does a great job, backhand up the middle, and then a strong throw back to first base. A really nice play. Puerto Rico getting it done on offense and on defense.
Yep.
You can see here, obviously, second baseman aggressively up the middle, good backhand, quick turn and release. That's textbook right there.
Mila Jones over Rosa's glove. That's a base hit.
Just out of the reach of Rosa. Thought she was going to make another spectacular play there. Washington coming right out and swinging the bat.
Washington playing like it's got nothing to lose here.
And in many ways they don't. Obviously they last night they scored enough runs to extend the game. They're trying to score 4 here this inning to take it to the 6th inning.
Charlotte Green walked in the 2nd inning. Balls and 1 strike to Green. Swing and miss, nothing in 2.
There goes.
And the throw down to second. Got her initially, and they rolled out at second.
Another interesting play there. Quick throw down to second base, gets the runner caught off. I think we might have a review.
Yep. As the ball did come loose at second.
It's like the umpire is saying that she was out and the ball was kicked out after the fact. Tag was put on. The runner was ruled out. Ball came out as she was pulling the glove away.
There's Rosa again. Suddenly there are 2 outs. Well, and if Puerto Rico had had a bit of an Achilles heel coming into this one, it had been their defense at times. Played a pretty clean game so far here today with just 1 error officially in this one.
Yeah, they certainly have made some great plays, but they've not necessarily always made the routine plays. But today we've seen a consistent amount of quality plays.
I believe the count is 2-1, and I believe the umpires might be conferring to make sure as well. Alex Ordonza, the home plate umpire, had signaled 2-0. I believe it's 2-1.
Obviously the play that happened in between, in the middle of the count, could have disrupted one of the umpires keeping track.
Sure. Happens to the best of us.
It certainly should be able to be clarified here. The pickoff play at second base, or pickoff play at first base that resulted in an out at second base was in the middle of this at bat.
Ordonza clarifies and confirms it is a 2-1 count to Green.
Green now up with 2 outs. Puerto Rico looking for their last out to close out this game.
Check that, 1-2. Washington down to its last strike. The pitch. Got it. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is your ball game. Puerto Rico pours it on, especially with 5 in the first and 6 more in the third. They close out pool play by making a statement. 13-0 result over the hosts from Washington, District 9.
They solidly put themselves in position at 3-1 in that pool, and they'll have tomorrow off.
And meanwhile, Washington and Czechia at the bottom of the pool. And oh, by the way, those two teams meet each other tomorrow. The winner likely advances to the elimination bracket.
Absolutely. They'll be fighting for that last spot out of the pool. And I think it's going to be a game of opportunity for the two 0-3 teams.
And we will have that game here on this field. So join us for that tomorrow here on ESPN+. A lot of smiles still between the two squads. A lot of camaraderie, a lot of sportsmanship, and I believe we're going to have the exchange of pins along the way as well. Part of what makes these events super special and super fun.
A tradition long held is swapping those pins.
Always so much fun. We hope you had as much fun here as we did. Once again, our final score, 13-0 in 5 innings. Puerto Rico with the win. On behalf of Kirk Walker and our fantastic ESPN Plus crew from coast to coast, I'm Troy Clarity. That'll finish things up from here, from field number 2. You want to check out Canada and the Philippines? They're happening right now over on field 1. I highly suggest you do so. But thanks for being with us here. 13-0 Puerto Rico in good shape in Pool A. Thanks for being with us here on ESPN Plus.